Well, the question is whether Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi's sudden aggression in this campaign has come too late, and whether the Gandhi family really is a viable brand for the Congress party anymore. I'll take that question first to Shahid Siddiqui, who joins us this evening. Shahid Siddiqui, we've suddenly seen Sonia Gandhi emerge on the scene. What do you make of her, in a sense, now leading the campaign as it were? She seems to have taken charge and said, I'm the boss, and she's in the forefront of it.
Look, to me, the Congress strategy seems to be flawed from the day one. If they wanted to present Sonia Gandhi, and they should have presented Sonia Gandhi as the person who had led the UPA for last 10 years, and her face should have been there on every hoarding. Now, everything was removed and only it was Rahul. As if you were trying to build a person who was not really the leader. You were trying to build a person who was not acceptable to the people, who didn't have that kind of command. So you were trying to build up a false leader by doing this kind of hoardings. So you were being influenced by the propaganda of the BJP. Because BJP was projecting Modi, so you had to project Rahul, which was a wrong strategy from the day one. Now if it's too late, when you bring in when Sonia comes in, Priyanka comes in, the message goes is that you don't have confidence that Rahul will be able to deliver. You realize that Rahul is unable to deliver, and when Priyanka comes in, Sonia Gandhi comes in with ideological attack on BJP.
No, so
it is
Shahid
good. It's
Siddiqui,
wonderful. It should have been there from the day one.
Are you saying
but
Sonia Gandhi was a much more worthy opponent to take on Narendra Modi from the beginning than Rahul Gandhi?
Absolutely. She was much more worthy opponent because she had that credibility. She led UPA to victory in 2004, 2009. Now both the faces, Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi, are not there. You want to wash off, you want to rub off Manmohan Singh totally. You want to put Sonia Gandhi in the deep freezer even before she has left UPA's leadership. So this was absolutely wrong, because you had so much of the past to talk about, and Congress party is not BJP. It's not a 20-30-year-old party. It's a 125-year-old party. Indira Gandhi's face should have been there. Nehru's face should have been there, if not in all the hoardings, but in some of the propaganda and and when they are fighting for secularism, when they are fighting against RSS, it is the word of Jawaharlal Nehru which should have been there, which would have much more credibility. A man who fought for India's secularism in the last century. But all that was not there, as if Congress begins with Rahul, ends with Rahul, and that was the wrong strategy. Now
okay.
You commit a bigger blunder by showing that you don't have real faith in Rahul, and you bring in Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka, who won't be able to deliver now, although Priyanka can connect with the common man much more than Sonia and Rahul.
Okay. Very interesting analysis there by you. I'm going to take this question to Dilip Pargankar, who joins us from Pune, before I come to the politicians. Mr. Pargankar, do you agree with Shahid Siddiqui's assessment that Sonia Gandhi, if they had to project her as the leader of the campaign in that sense, that should have been done much earlier? Doing it now would actually expose the weaknesses in projecting Rahul Gandhi in the first place, and it's come too late.
I have a different take on this. I believe that the shots that Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi have been firing, the target is far beyond their range. This is something that they ought to have done a long time ago. The target has moved ahead. The shots are not reaching the target. They are now trying to draw the battle lines. But is the battle still on? I mean, that is a question that a lot of people are asking.
Yes.
I'm not going to the substance of what they are saying, because on that score, I think we can have a discussion. I may go along with the substance, but the fact remains that these shots should have been fired much earlier, should have been fired when the target was nigh. The target is now well beyond the reach of these shots, and I'm afraid it's a case of, if not too little, certainly of too late.
I'll take that question to Pawan Verma then. Pawan Verma, how do you see it then, the entry of Sonia and Priyanka into the campaign at this stage? Do you believe it can help the Congress to some extent even at this late stage?
No, Nidhi, I want to say two or three things. Firstly, this is a controversy that inevitably will arise if you are constantly a party where the central focus is a family. Secondly, I don't believe this is in any way a vote of no confidence by either Sonia or Priyanka on Rahul Gandhi. I see that they see him as the legitimate heir, but naturally as the election heats up, they are taking supplementary action to strengthen what he is doing. If there was to be a challenge or if there was to have been a replacement, it would have become far more obvious earlier. But I want to make a general point on your... See, I believe that it's not too little too late. It's too late by 3 or 4 years. The Congress was complacent after 10 years of incumbency of the magnitude of the challenge and the tide of discontent that was in a sense waiting to spill itself against the Congress. If you were fighting an ideological war where the question of religious and social harmony was the key question, you should have mounted it for the last 2 or 3 years, not in this sporadic or concentrated manner just before the elections. The Congress party, in my view,
I can add to it.
The Congress party's defense, the Congress party's defense of the price rise and corruption scandals was exceptionally poor, if there was a defense at all. And lastly, if it was the Congress strategy to make Rahul Gandhi the mascot for the party, I believe that it was been much better if Rahul Gandhi had assumed some executive responsibility in government and shown in a verifiable manner that he can deliver something that can change the country rather than being an amorphous figure without accountability.
Before I come to the Congress,
and one last quick point, 10 seconds, Nidhi. And I also believe that the attack on the new and undoubted, unchallenged personality cult in the BJP frankly cuts very little ice, because we know that the Congress party has in a sense been petrified into the acceptance of only one leadership. And all this talk of democratizing the Congress actually, however well intentions, cuts no ice, because the person advocating it, Rahul Gandhi, himself is the beneficiary of a privileged position.
Absolutely, and that's a very valid point, which I will take to the Congress spokesperson shortly. But Piyush Goyal of the BJP, who joins us tonight, Piyush Goyal, would you admit that if Sonia Gandhi had been perhaps projected by the Congress as the main face to take on Mr. Modi much earlier, that she would have been a much more worthy adversary, as Shahid Siddiqui was saying, a much more worthy opponent to take him on? And what do you make of Priyanka Gandhi's sudden very aggressive stand on Mr. Modi? She's supposed to be the secret weapon of the Congress. Do you think it'll make any impact at all?
Well, Nidhi, I'm glad that Ms. Sonia Gandhi has chosen to come out of the closet, and instead of running the country from behind the curtain and shooting from the heads or the shoulder of a non-functional Prime Minister, she has chosen to come in the front. It is also very fortunate that the nation now knows that the person behind all the scams, the mismanagement, the policy paralysis, the ruination of this economy is Ms. Sonia Gandhi, who was micromanaging the government. Files used to go to her, and now she has chosen to come out in the open is a good sign. We welcome it. In fact, we would welcome other members of the Gandhi family. The sister has also stepped in, Ms. Priyanka Gandhi. It's a very welcome sign, because when there is an hour of crisis in a family, when they can see that the heir apparent who chooses not to become the heir, the whole party asks him to become the prime ministerial candidate, but who's scared to take on that responsibility, knowing full well that he does not have the numbers, he does not have the leadership capabilities, and won't be able to even cross the 3-digit mark. He refuses to be anointed the prime ministerial candidate. In such a crisis situation where the Congress is going down, it's very good that the family should be together. The mother and daughter, I don't know if there are other members, probably the son-in-law, Mr. Robert Vadra, can also chip in into this joint private limited company effort to try and salvage a sinking ship.
Okay, pretty strong scathing attack, Sanjay Jha, there by Piyush Goyal of the BJP. Is this something that looks like a desperate last attempt by the Congress to salvage itself in this campaign? You've heard every single, even the commentators tonight, from Shahid Siddiqui to Dilip Pargaonkar, saying that it's too late. And Dilip Pargaonkar even saying, is the battle still on? Are you all still in the fight?
Well, Nidhi, I hope you'll give me time because, you're discussing my party's leadership and you're bringing me into a debate after a lot of generous, kind advice by the political commentators is welcome. I've heard them all with rapturous attention. But let me tell you, first respond to my good friend, Mr. Piyush Goyal. Promise you, he has not been watching what's been happening in the political environment. Mrs. Gandhi has been speaking and giving speeches for a considerable period. The video was one part of it. The interview was one part of it. She's been taking on, in fact, she mentioned weeks ago about Mr. Modi's and the BJP's, when she talked about the entire farms of hatred. So I think when she talked about the kind of, what really is the hate politics of the BJP, that has been in the public domain for a long time. I also want to tell you that with due respects, I remember in 2004, Nidhi, I don't know whether you do, but your same NDTV that predicts a very favorable verdict for Mr. BJP did the same in 2004. And I know because I was very much involved at the very early part of that campaign as to what the end results were. We didn't allow that to demoralize us. Now, the people on your panel have their own personal perspectives. They are free to air their views. I respect it. But let me tell you some hard realities. When Mrs. Gandhi talked about Bhartiyata, when she talked about Hindustaniyat, I think she mentioned an issue that concerns every citizen of India. You haven't heard me. You haven't heard me.
No, we heard her
you
TV
haven't
message.
Heard me.
My point is, we
let
heard
me
her.
answer your question. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, let me be categorical, please. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is leading our campaign in the event, and we are very confident that we form the government. Mr. Gandhi has said, I get the support of the Congress party or his constituents. He will be the Prime Minister of India. So if anybody here is trying to believe that Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the Congress president, coming and making another aggressive bid as part of the campaign, which was, by the way, structured and pretty much part of our overall plans, which we don't have to disclose to Shahid Siddiqui or to NDTV. You can debate it till the cows come home.
You had planned, I'm sorry,
that's the way the
Sanjay,
party works.
you had planned for Mrs. Gandhi to come into the
that.
campaign a month before counting day? Seriously?
No, after
that was the plan from
Well,
the
let me
beginning?
tell you, Nidhi, I don't think you have been hearing what I've been saying on your program. I think when you have not been hearing, Mrs. Gandhi has been at the election campaign weeks in advance. Do I need to tell you that? Do I need to tell you when she talked about the killing fields of hatred that the BJP has started? Find out when that happened. She's been talking to people all over.
Now, let me finish. Yes, Piyush Goyal wants to come in and
let me finish.
Yeah.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. It's not fair that you're allowing Mr. Goyal to come in till I finish.
Go ahead.
Now, Nidhi, listen. The world is talking about how NDTV and other channels have been giving Mr. Modi 5 times more time than Mr. Rahul Gandhi. I think if you are not going to allow me time, it will only further justify that the media in this country has been very skewed.
Piyush Goyal, I hope you heard the Congress accusing us of bias and giving too much time to the BJP.
Let me answer.
Yes,
Let me
Sanjay.
answer. Well, that's in the public domain. That's in the public domain. That's in the public domain, and I
I'm so
haven't heard a
glad
contradiction.
we're getting hammered from all sides. So I think we're doing something right.
By NDTV either. So let me finish.
Yeah,
I need
okay,
to finish.
come on, Sanjay, we have to
lament that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, 5 years ago, I remember my driver, unfortunately, drove over my neighbor's dog. I went and apologized to my neighbor. Frankly, I had a nightmarish, no sleep for days on end because I thought of that experience. Here is a man who wants to be the Prime Minister of India, who saw the death of 2,000 Indians and can't even apologize for that. Is that what India should be battling about, Nidhi Razdan? That is the question that India needs to debate today.
No, actually we've debated that and we continue to debate that, but we're asking about Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi tonight. Piyush Goyal and then Shahid Siddiqui. Piyush Goyal, 1 second. Piyush first and then Shahid, yes.
No, I think Sanjay is lost in his own propaganda. The fact is that other than diverting from the core issues of the common man, the angst of the common man against corruption, the angst of the common man against high prices, the anger that the common man has that he doesn't have a job.
Under his very watchful eyes.
Sanjay,
Shame on you for even having this man
Sanjay, I
as your prime
respected
minister candidate. It's shame on you
your
that you
request
even
not
have
to
him as your
disturb
prime
you.
ministerial candidate.
Sanjay, let him finish. Let him finish, and we will
Well, I
come back to you.
respected your request to not disturb you, but I think you are so badly worried that you have nothing to do except disturb the other panelists, my
not.
friend Sanjay.
I am
the
not.
fact is,
I'm not.
the
I'm just
poor
telling you
man,
some
the
harsh
common
truths.
man, the common man is angry because of your corruption. The common man is angry because of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's government, the one which she was running from behind the curtain, which mismanaged the economy, which gave us joblessness, which gave us very high prices, which gave us a government that refused to work in the interests of the people. And when the people asked questions, जब जनता ने कहा जवाब दो, तो all Mrs. Gandhi could come up with is, at some time she raises मौत का सौदागर, sometimes she says खून की खेती. Now she is suddenly talking Bharatiyata.
It's
In fact,
Zehar ki
Nidhi, I am very
kheti.
glad
She said
that they are
Zehar ki
playing
kheti.
they are playing the communal card now. When we talked of Bharat and Hindustan, they would say, no, if you say Bharat, Hindustan, it is communal. It should be called India. I don't know what happened to her English now. Suddenly we have Bharatiyata and Hindustaniyat in her language. This is very good for me. I like to hear that from her. But the fact is, the Congress
Goel,
is bereft of
Mr.
an
Goel,
agenda.
you know
Sanjay,
why
one
Mrs.
second,
The
one
Congress
second.
is
Those
bereft
words.
of leadership.
Yeah. But
Today,
give me a
the
chance to
nation wants
contradict
a
him, please.
decisive, honest and performing leadership, and that only the Bharatiya Janata Party, an ideologically sound party led by its leader Shri Narendra Modi, who is not responsible for any of the things that Mr. Sanjay is wanting to
Okay,
allude to.
I just
the
want to on
courts
the-
have ruled that he is
I want to
innocent.
respond to him.
But
One
the
second,
courts have not
Sanjay.
yet given any
I don't want to talk about
to
Mr.
Mrs.
Modi
Sonia
tonight.
Gandhi and
One
Rajiv
second.
Gandhi
Tonight we're
for
talking
the
about the
5,000
Gandhis.
Why not?
Can I come in?
We're talking about the Gandhis and
Under
Shahid
not?
Siddiqui.
Nidhi,
My
can I
question to
come
you
in?
is,
No,
my
1
question
minute.
to Shahid
Mrs.
Siddiqui. Sanjay,
Gandhi
one
made a
second.
statement
Please.
on-
1 second,
Yeah, okay.
Sanjay, I'll come back to you.
Please
Shahid
stop this
Siddiqui,
BJP
does
Congress
the appeal
Yes.
of the family, is there still an appeal that the family carries? I mean, the brand of the Gandhis, does that appeal still hold? Do you believe that, or is that fast declining? And that's a lesson for dynasties perhaps across India.
Look, yes. Nidhi, I would first talk of the content of the appeal. And if they had talked of Hindustaniyat and Bharatiyata and emphasis on secularism, before all these corruption things came up, the Colgate, the 2G, etc., and before they had lost the assembly elections 6 months back, then it would have cut some ice. But now it's being used, people feel that this is being used as a fig leaf to save and to divert the issue from corruption, from price rise, etc., to secularism and Bharatiyata and Hindustaniyat. You have suddenly started talking of great India and saving the secularism and idea of India in danger. And this was not the talk during Gujarat elections. Let me tell you, in the Gujarat elections, they were not talking of Bharatiyata in danger. They were not talking of Hindustaniyat in danger. They were not talking of secularism in danger. They were talking something else in Gujarat. So it is now, and therefore it is. I totally agree with the idea of Bharatiyata. We have been fighting for it all our life. But today, coming from the mouth of Sonia Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi or the family doesn't cut much ice, even with those who stand for secularism and who are ready to die for secularism in this country. First point. And the second point, the question you asked, the family, in fact, by coming now, is proving BJP's allegation that this is a one family party and this family does not represent India. This represents the interest of a family and is there to protect the interests of the family. And therefore, it proves their point and not really improve Congress's position among the people.